Burchett talks about the next UFO hearing. We've got that and more to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yes, I am still in town. I've been scrambling the last few days getting ready for actually a pretty short trip. I'm only going to be gone a couple days, but there's things to do. But I am still getting videos ready for you guys, and there will be videos while I am gone. I don't know if I'm going to have as many. Maybe they'll be a roundup tomorrow. Maybe they're not. Maybe they won't. We'll see how it goes. But there will be a roundup today, so let's get to it. Yeah, this is from Matt Laszlo from Ask a Poll. Timberjet. David Grush's list of cooperative and hostile witnesses will be part of the next UFO hearing. Very good. And there's Tim right there. Yeah, so, okay. Ask a Poll subscriber asks, are you crafting a whistleblower protection measure? Yeah, we talked about that. We're working with some legal people and try to get something a little better than what's out there. But here's the critical thing. David Grush gave a list of cooperative and hostile witnesses. What have they done with this list? To which Tim Burchett replied, that'll be part of the next hearing. Some of those folks. I'm afraid to give out too many names because, as you know, what happened the last time we had like 12 people that were coming in, we ended up with 3. We had some people that were scared. Yeah, they have been intimidating witnesses to prevent them from testifying before Congress and the American people and the people of the world. This is disturbing that they can get away with this and that they have gotten away with this. Even, going against Congress. That's crazy. It's crazy that they've been able to do this. Confirmed. UAP caucus wants Tim Gallaudet to testify. I would love that, especially if Tim has some firsthand experience and he's not just relating stories, that he knows about. But yeah, Tim said there's a Navy admiral who's been real vocal here lately. He was involved in an incident. I can talk about it now because he's talked about it on the national news. There was a sighting and he was in this chain of information. Okay, well, there you go. There you go. Maybe that solves my problem. He was part of something that went down. And Tim says he's been involved in an incident and he has been talking about it on the national news. I've probably already reported on that and unclear what he's talking about. But anyway, so any update on UAP caucus trying to hire David Grush? Because that was another thing, that David Grush might become a staffer of the UAP caucus. Tim Burchett says, we are not cleared to have any budget like that, but I don't know what that would get us anyway. I'm not sure what that means exactly. A budget to hire David Grush? Okay, maybe David is asking too much. I don't know. May want to reduce what you're asking, David. I don't know. Tim says, I don't think that's a good idea. About revamping the Schumer-Rounds Amendment. So Tim is not a big fan of the Schumer-Rounds Amendment. He prefers to keep it simple, just release everything, unclassify everything, and that's what his amendment would have done. Now, I think it's probably much more complicated than that. We probably do need something approaching the Schumer-Rounds Amendment. I'm still iffy on some of the details of that, getting CIA directors involved and, all this stuff. But we definitely need more than we have now, and they're definitely not going to just rip the Band-Aid off and declassify everything. And that wouldn't accomplish what we need done, because we need direct oversight of these black budget programs. They are doing some shady stuff and we need oversight of them. So there needs to be an organizational body to handle that, much like the review board that Danny Sheehan wants to put in there. So anyway, so Burchett says, Tim Burchett remains dubious of the Schumer-Rounds Amendment. What do you make of Representative Robert Garcia introducing Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer's UAPDA amendment into the NDAA? I don't see it doing much. He's a Democrat, Burchett says. Don't get political, Tim. Again, I just want disclosure. I don't want all the bureaucracy. I'm sick of it. 50 pages or 60 pages of bureaucracy to say release it. Obviously, they're putting something in there where they're not going to be releasing it. Well, I mean, he's right about that. They're not going to rip the Band-Aid off. That is not, part of the Schumer-Rounds Amendment. There is a planned disclosure over multiple years, and there will be a review board telling us what we can and cannot know. So I'm kind of with him on that. I don't like the idea of the review board telling us what we're allowed to know. We've been paying for all these years for the government to do this stuff, or for the control group to do this stuff. And, it's not really their right to tell us what we can know, in my opinion. So I kind of sympathize with Tim's position there. However, we do need some organizing body to look into this. Now, I prefer the select committee or the subcommittee of the House of Representatives rather than the review board. But, we don't have that yet. And there is a, way to get the review board. So we'll see how that goes. But there are Tim's thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Meanwhile, from Ronnie Vernet, I just received the information that UFOs are descending over native villages in the state of Acre right now. And this is in Peru. Indigenous people are very apprehensive, and regional authorities will likely be contacted very soon. A trip to the region is being planned by me and also by journalists. That's insane, guys. Yeah, Ronnie says, trying to get some resources like cameras, thermal imaging, drones, and training to deliver there. Nuts, guys. Is there a UFO wave or flap or even something more sinister going on in Peru right now? Because for sure, there's been some shady stuff going on in Peru recently. I'm talking about the face peelers. Now, I have in my mind that's probably humans, some splinter group or rogue group with alien technology, maybe or maybe not affiliated with the UFO control group. But it is possible that it is non-humans doing that. We just don't know. So, I don't know if they're behind what's going on. I don't know if, this flap is related to humans or non-humans. Hopefully they will get to the bottom of it. Hopefully if there are people being terrorized, then that will be put to an end. So let me know what you think is going on, and hopefully we'll get more information in action on it very soon. Meanwhile, some of the new evidence on Maria, the research especially done by the Canadian researcher who at the moment is remaining anonymous, suggests that Maria might have been self-reproducing. Of course, we need confirmation on this, but she could have been a hermaphroditic being, or it could have been a hermaphroditic being that was able to self-reproduce. Now, yeah, I would feel much more comfortable, if that anonymous researcher weren't anonymous. So hopefully that will change in the days ahead. But a fascinating potential wrinkle in the Nasca mummy story. Meanwhile, this is an older clip, but I thought I would share it because I think this information is very important. That the Air Force may be grooming young people for special abilities. So I think, not enough people are talking about this potential situation or this possibly very likely situation. So let's give a listen to what Ross has to say.
But what's really interesting in all of that is the story of young people in America being recognized for certain abilities and developed by the US Air Force. I'm very sure that's been going on. And I know it sounds like a bloody science fiction novel, but I read. I keep reading about this.
Doesn't.
I read about that Scott Andrews guy, and I went, "Oh my God, that's what they're talking about."
Yeah.
And I do think it's possible the US Air Force has been grooming very young people, like searching for particular abilities. And maybe it's that enhanced putamen caudate connection in the basal ganglia that you were talking about, Jay.
So yeah, there you go, a potential situation that is going on. I think it's very likely that the Air Force or the control group has indeed been, gathering people with special abilities. Micah Herrera has talked about how they will even abduct people or forcefully, get people to work for them, in other countries, in developing countries that have special abilities. And I'm sure that has been going on for some time. Maybe not the abduction part, but the idea that the control group is looking for people with special abilities to do, spying, assassinations, maybe. You could get very, comic booky with it, but I think that it's probably based on something real. And obviously, of course, to interact with the beings and also the technology. But those are just my thoughts. And it looks like Ross is kind of leaning in that direction too. So let me know what you guys think is really going on with, the people with special abilities maybe being groomed by the control group. Meanwhile, did you know there were Easter Island statues in Peru? Okay, so they're not an Easter Island, but they sure look a lot like the Easter Island statues. Look at that. So that's what they look like in Easter Island, and that's what they look like in Peru. Pretty crazy, right? Here's Easter Island, and here is Peru. Check it out. Yeah, Peru's over there. Easter Island is right there, almost halfway in between Australia and South America in the South Pacific Ocean. So not particularly close to Peru. I mean, it's not all the way around the world, but it's not anywhere close, and it's separated by a wide body of water. But they have startlingly similar statues. Check that out. Clearly some connective cultural tissue is going on there. I don't know what that means, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Meanwhile, this was sent to me by Nico. Check this out. This apparently is real. Some crazy cloud formation. That is insane. What is going on there? What could create such a beautiful cloud? What in the world? I mean, it looks like candy in the sky. I'm sure it's a natural phenomenon. But isn't that gorgeous? And that was in Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam. Meanwhile, Tucker Carlson has been talking about UFOs and supernatural forces. David Haith gives a little breakdown of his interview on the Sean Ryan show. The U.S. government is lying about UFOs because it doesn't want the public to know the supernatural is real, believes Tucker Carlson. He told podcaster Sean Ryan it's because they sort of know they're working for supernatural forces. He claimed all religions have the belief that supernatural beings take physical form. They're physical like they're as real as the arm of your chair. They reproduce with people. He said he's talked with people who had first-hand knowledge, and their main interest, the being's main interest, the control group's main interest, is convincing that the supernatural is not real. I think that's really fascinating. Tucker Carlson's comments on this are really interesting. He seems to see this more in terms of angels and demons and kind of a religious framework, which I think is unfortunate, although he doesn't really talk too much about the specifics of the religious part of it. But I think that's kind of where his mind goes. And I think that, there's the idea of the Collins elite, this insider group that is very much afraid the UFO phenomenon is demonic. And I'm worried that he might be kind of buying into that. I've come to think of the Collins elite as a disinformation group. They are probably in with the control group, and they are putting out the idea that this stuff is demonic to scare people away from it. That's my theory about the Collins elite. But, who knows if that's right or not. But I do think that Tucker Carlson is right on the money in a certain part, and that's that, from my own point of view, UFO disclosure is spiritual disclosure, or it will lead to spiritual disclosure, because the metaphysical stuff, consciousness stuff, spiritual stuff, whatever you want to call it, is inextricably linked with a lot of the UFO phenomenon. Maybe not all of it, but there's an awful lot of it that seems to be linked. 1/3 or 30% of all alien abductees are near-death experiencers. People who have died, been to the other side, and come back. I don't know what that means, but it means something, guys. And there's obviously a wide range of other related, phenomena as well. So, but let me know what you think about that and everything else covered today in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the like button and the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, links below. Love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.